together, and a big round of applause for Cola Shipping Tower.
Good evening, my friends, my relatives. My name is Kola Shippentauer. My Indian name is Sohaya, and I come from Nishiawe country out in Pendleton, Oregon. So I'm a little far from home, just a little bit. But I feel really blessed and grateful to be in this space with you today and with Amanda, who I've grown to be really close with over the past year. I've said it many times when visiting here, this is starting to feel like my second home. I feel welcome, I feel loved, I feel valued in being able to be invited into spaces like this. I have spoken at a couple of events with Amanda and been able to represent, hopefully in a really good way, especially speaking about our missing and murdered Indigenous relatives. It's a heavy topic, right? It's not something that can be easily talked about. It's definitely not something that we can talk about one time and have an amazing event like this and figure like, oh, that's a little bit of work here, that's a little bit of work there. This is something that we have to continue to fight for each and every single day. This is like, in my introduction it was mentioned that I am a survivor of domestic violence and sexual assault. I have experienced sexual harassment by law enforcement. But one thing that I've learned within this work is that the obstacles, the challenges, the struggles are things that we should never allow to identify us. So the one thing that I've learned in this work is that I will never allow this crisis to be what identifies my little brother, my cousin, my aunties, my uncles. And I hope that today, with my short time with you, is that I can encourage you that this isn't what's going to be identifying us as Indian people. Is it okay if we try to start doing that a little bit more? Is that okay with you? Man, y'all, did you eat too much? What's going on right now? All right, I got to do something just a little bit. Can everybody go ahead and stand up a little tiny? Just stand up with me. Let's try something. Everybody stand up just a little bit. I can see my son. He's like, you guys realize my mom's a professional athlete? She's probably going to make us start running. Ryan Vasquez just perked up a little bit. He's like, yes, let's go run. Like crazy people, running reservation. I'm like, I'm trying to leave the reservation for a little bit. Go ahead and just deep inhale through your nose. Exhale out. Yeah. Another one, deep inhale in. Exhale, make it audible. Nice, let's do one more. Exhale out. Just become a little bit more present. We're always just rapid everywhere. We're trying to go someplace, get to the next place. We got to-do lists, we got things we got to do. We have a casino out there. We're trying to go put in a couple bucks is what we're trying to think about right now. Go ahead and just do this. Throw your hands together. Faster. Yeah. And start some fires. And then just hold.
My hands are warm.
Shh. One more time. Go. I'm just gonna say this right now. I got like 2 mics on me. This is getting really difficult. And hold. Just nice and loud. Say one word describing what you're feeling right now.
Hungry.
Angry,
Sigma.
warm, energy. My son said, huh? Blessed.
Grateful.
Sigma.
I love it. Not Sigma. These new kids today, I'm just like, I don't know. All right, go ahead and open up the hands a little bit. Start opening up. Through the chest, open. Just relax. We're just a little bit more present. We're thinking of all the different things that we're supposed to be doing right now. Make that movement just a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. If you want to start swaying side to side. I see people reaching out to their partners like, I told you she was going to make us move. Moving around just a little bit more. Okay? All right, go ahead and sit down. Woo! There's a good, healthy group of people here. Looking really good. Couple of things I want to remind you right there. That is power. That was one of the most tiniest movements you could have made in a space where you probably felt a little bit of hopelessness, a little bit of tragedy, a little bit of sadness, anger, depression, anxiety, nervousness. Amanda's like, stop talking about me. Some of these things we think it has to be a huge move, and sometimes it can be as simple as creating energy right in front of us. Some of us said it, energy, warmth, power. It keeps us connected, even to ourselves in the most difficult times. We started some movement. Movement is everything for Indian people, right? Who moves on a regular basis? Dancing, drumming, singing, working out in the gym, running reservation to reservation. I mean, come on, that's, if it was contest, you win, okay? I'll drive where I need to go. But all these different modalities, going to our longhouses, the plank house, doing all these traditional things, that takes movement. But one thing I want to remind you that we must be mindful of every single day is that our movement impacts everyone around us. Maybe some of you noticed that when you started doing bigger movements, you started kind of maybe tapping the people next to you. Maybe some of you meant to. You're kind of like, I've been waiting to do this, now I can do it. And you're thinking, I don't want to hit the people next to me. I don't want to get hit by the people next to me. This is what we have to do continuously. I am reminding my 3 boys. They have to be mindful of how they move in this world. It is a different time, especially right now. For the entire land that we live on, every single person is impacted by some of the changes and things that have been made. It gets scary and we're, oh no, what are we going to do? Right? I'll just say there's a huge elephant in the room. Administration has changed, so a lot of us are trying to figure out what it is that we're going to do. We have to be mindful first and foremost what we do for ourselves and how we move and how we carry ourselves. I won't dismiss the obvious issue that we're here to continue to raise awareness about. My family has been heavily impacted for generations and generations. I rely heavily into my culture, into my people, and especially into my tota. His name is Wapanana. That's my dad. And I won't ever try to feel exactly what it is that he's feeling as someone who's been losing people, siblings, nieces and nephews for years and years, to a point where he's feeling, I'm the only one left, so what do I do? We do what we've always done. We continue to get back up and we continue to fight. And you continue to show me, continue to show your grandsons, this is how we move, this is who we are. This topic, missing and murdered Indigenous peoples. It's been stated many times today as we've been talking and having the conversations, and hopefully a little bit more conversations with the people at your table. Might be family, might be friends, might be individuals that you don't know, have never met before. I strongly encourage you to reach out and network a little bit. There are many different types of individuals in the room today, and I'm extremely proud of the way that we were able to branch out with our different experiences and the people that we know. We have family members who have been heavily impacted by this crisis. We have advocates, people who are trying to help the families. We have allies, ones that want to help us in Indian country. We have all the way up to law enforcement. We have government officials. We have representatives, all in the same room. Can we just take a second to realize how powerful that is? We are in the same room as a collective, wanting to strive for a better Indian country, right? Yeah, that's something that we should be proud of, right? If you've been waiting for the permission slip to stand up and be bolder and be louder and brighter, girl, do it and make it look dang good. I'm going to tell you, your permission slip is do it. We have gone on too much through our lives generationally, and in this culture is you need to relax a little bit, you need to calm down. I say no. First of all, once somebody tells me to take it down a notch, guaranteed I'm going to take it up probably 5 notches. I pray someone in the room tells me to do that. So I'm telling you, don't do that. Yes, thank you. Somebody else is awake. You guys are kind of like, we had noodles cola, so we're trying not to fall asleep right now, but this is what we're trying to do. And I know oftentimes people are like, how though? And why? It gets hard, right? This work is really, really hard. This way of life is really, really hard. And if we have individuals that are in the room that are kind of like, well, how do this doesn't impact me. This isn't my people. I'm non-native, or I haven't had a loved one go missing or be murdered in such horrific ways, but what can I do? I'm going to say this very confidently and very boldly. You sit down and you listen, and then you do what you're told. Okay? That's how many were raised by our grandparents and our parents. Okay, so I say this in such a way because that's the only way that you're going to understand what our issues are as Indian people, is you have to listen. I know a lot of times we have allies come into spaces and they're like, I want to do something, I want to change, I want to like, like, how do I help? Like, what can I do? And we're like, you've got to just sit and take this in just for a little bit so you can understand. But here's the other caveat to this conversation is we have to be reminding people who come into our spaces, non-natives, and people alike, is that indigenous issues are also your issues. Are you with me on that? Indigenous, native, Indian issues are your issues. We are the original caretakers of this land. If you like clean water, if you like clean food, if you love being able to go out into nature, if you love these things, help us advocate and protect those things as the original caretakers of this land. And again, I can kind of sense it, kind of feel like, Nicole, like how? Like what do we do? And even the other side of it is, this is hard because it's something we're fighting every single day. We have no idea like what we're supposed to do with this. Like, it's scary. Like, what do I, like, I'm 7 times more likely to go missing or be killed. Like, yes. And I'm sorry for the children in the room, but the adults, like, we have to be really upfront and honest. I live my life in transparency and honesty with my 3 boys because the only way that they're going to understand their role in this world is if I bring out the brutal side of this honest issue, which is, this shit is hard. It's never going to be easy. Never. I hope and pray for change. I fight for change each and every single day. As soon as my eyes open, my feet don't even hit the ground. I'm grabbing my phone, I'm reading emails in my bed, and pretty sure my husband's like, here we go. Buckle up, it's about to be a bumpy ride. Yes, every single day is like this because this is our fight every single day. How we carry ourselves and how we move, and it does get daunting and it does get hard. This is going to be my one piece of advice to each and every single one of you in this room is lean into your culture. Lean into your people. And if you're like, I don't have people, I'm sorry, how many of us are in this room right now? These are your people. If you've ever felt alone in a space, like you literally just came into a room full of people, you might not even know one other person, but guaranteed there's somebody in this room that knows exactly how you're feeling and knows exactly some of the issues that you're going through. Like, we are never alone in this work. And that's what I've learned time and time again. It doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you're on demographically or what type of, income, like everybody has kind of the same issues. It's just the response is going to be different in how we react to that, right? And this is something that I really hope that we can be mindful of and remind each other of. But Cole, you've had all these crazy things happen to you, like you've gone through like the abuse, you've gone through sexual assault, even the police have done things to you. You've worked really hard to overcome alcoholism, and you had to work really hard to do all these different things. Like, what is it? The tit-tat. Token. This is my people. And there's one in particular individual that comes to my mind, especially the past couple of weeks, whilst working with Amanda and trying to get into this work. I've been so frustrated and angry at a very specific group of people, and I'll say it very boldly and very plainly, is law enforcement is not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Government officials aren't pushing the pace so fast as we need them to, and also there's many times where it might be a political move to help them get to where they need to go. Do I need to say more on that part? But there's so much that I get angry for on that side. I get so angry at it, and I can scream from the mountaintops, and I can tell everyone, cops are horrible and they're doing these horrible things, but when Amanda was sharing some things with me about this young woman here, and it was just like it was said earlier before by my brother talking about domestic violence is not a foreign issue to many of us, but the issue is that it's our loved ones, the people that we love the most, that are harming us the most. The people that we would go to war for, the people that we would do anything for, are the ones that are harming us. So it started to spiral a lot of different thoughts for me. It's like, I've been fighting a group of people for so long that I've lost sight that I have to remember to hold my own sisters accountable for what they're doing. I have to remind them of how valuable they are and how important they are, that they need to understand that they don't have to stay with this man. I need to continue to remind our men that you don't have to stay with her. You don't need to stay in that. We often have these conversations of our men holding each other accountable, like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, you can't be touching her like that. We talk about that a lot, but I'm going to bring the other side of that conversation. We have to hold our sisters accountable too. We have to tell them, you can't treat him like that. That's somebody's son. That could be my son. We have to be mindful of our thoughts and our words and how we treat each other. But how do we do that is continually the question I get, how? But again, I thought of this young woman, and it made me think of someone from my tribe. A very, very long time ago, a young woman from our Cayuse tribe had gone missing. No one knew what happened to her, no one knew the story behind it, but the tribe or people decided that they were going to start to search for her. They searched and they searched and they searched. A lot of people became hopeless and they gave up. But one man decided to keep looking. He took his horse away from the village and rode for as long as he could through the valleys and the canyons on my homeland, searching for this woman. He got too far. He couldn't take his horse anymore, so he decided that he was going to leave his horse. He was going to go on foot. He was determined to find this woman. He continued to hike and maneuver through these canyons and next to water and looking for her. He came to an open space. There's a tree kind of off in the distance, and he kind of sees something. He wasn't sure what it was, and he started walking closer, and as he approached this tree, he noticed something hanging. He knew exactly what it was, and he ran to that tree, and when he looked up, and it was this woman. Her face was black. She was obviously gone. He hurried up the tree, and he grabbed what he could, and he cut her down. He brought her body down. He carried her back to his horse, put her on the horse, and walked her body back to his village. They brought her body into our longhouse, and in our belief that sacred ground, Washa, they brought her body, they laid her out. They laid her out on that ground and they sang. They sang the songs that they could and praying for her night after night, day after day, hoping that she was going to come back in some sort of miraculous way. On that third day, she sat up. She wiped the black from her face. Everyone, obviously in shock, in that longhouse, surrounded her and asked her, what happened? Where did you go? Who took you? What was happening? All these questions started bombarding her, and she's trying to wake up. And it was quiet. And that's when hey, started to tell her people, it doesn't matter what took me, it doesn't matter what happened to me. What's important now is how we move forward. What I last remember was being home with my people, and then it went black. I walked and I walked and I walked, and off in the distance I saw a light that was glowing bright, and as I walked closer to that light, this beautiful sound. It was so beautiful. I kept walking towards this sound and this light, and as I got closer to that door, I opened that blanket back. And what I could see on the other side was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. All of my loved ones, all of my ancestors before me were there, singing and making the most beautiful sound. The ground, it lit up. It was shiny like gold, and it glistened in the sun. And as I tried to take a step forward, I was stopped. And this voice told me, not now, not yet. She says, I remember crying and telling them, I want to go. Not yet. I need you to go back to your people and tell them what you've witnessed. I need you to take these songs back to your people and teach them these ways. That door closed and she turned around and she had to walk and walk and walk. And slowly that beautiful sound started to fade out a little bit, but she continued to walk. Eventually she started to hear familiar voices and hear a familiar sound, and that's when she woke up and she was with her people. She said, these songs, we have to continue to carry them. I'm going to teach you these songs. I'm going to teach you this way of life and what we're supposed to do moving forward as Indian people. This is going to be what carries us to live a good life, to be working towards that next place. How we treat each other is going to be what counts. Not what took me, not what sent me to that next place, but what we do now moving forward. That is how we continue going as Indian people. We lean into our culture. We lean into the songs. We lean into these teachings. If you've got children, you start teaching them now. You start showing them this way of life. Don't move in fear. We can't do that. I know for certain this woman, her name was Hakanunwe, and she came from the Cayuse tribe where I am from. She didn't meet these moments with fear. She didn't know what was happening to her. She didn't know what was going on. But she didn't meet it with fear. She didn't instill it in other people. She didn't share anything that scared her from what she saw. She leaned it into how beautiful it was and what she wanted to show her people. This is what we do. This is how we move forward. This is how we fight this crisis that's sweeping across Indian country. We meet it head on and we face it, and we continue to fight each and every single day, knowing that we have an ancestry, a bloodline that relies on us to continue this work. I have reminders each and every single day. I have 3 beautiful boys, each with Indian names, who decide to carry themselves in a good way. That was my son up here singing. That's my baby, but a voice like that coming from a young man who is even yet to really experience life, that is a beautiful thing that helps me in knowing that I have confidence that when he does meet struggles in life and obstacles in his life, which I know will happen, he will meet it head on and ready to take it on without a thought of, I'm too scared, I can't do this, what happens if, and what happens? No. This is what we do moving forward. We have to remind this world. You can continue to take our people. You can keep doing this. It's generational. This has been happening for centuries, for hundreds of years. This genocide, this forced assimilation of our people is not a new issue. It is a very deep-rooted historical issue. But how we respond is what we need to be thinking more of. And again, my apologies to the children in the room, but I will be damned if I don't carry this bloodline and this warriorship that I have. If I don't do that boldly, then I'm obviously not doing my job right. Is this something that we can do as Indian people moving forward? Is this what we want to do as a collective? To continue to show the world why we're a threat and why we're dangerous. Can we do that? Okay, seriously though, like what kind of Indians are y'all? Like, I think I want to like red people like red people back. Yeah. This is what we need more of. Go into life boldly and loudly and fiercely and carry your bloodline. Take care of it. It is the one thing in this world that they can't take from us. And he said, your bloodline, your heritage, your culture is the one thing in this world that they cannot take. I have many men in my life who have gone missing or who were killed. I have many cousins and aunts who were taken way too soon. But I refuse to remember for what took them. What I will do moving forward each and every single day is carrying them in a good way and living my life how they would have. Entering into a room and lighting it up and dressing and looking really good while doing it. Thank you. Because I know that's what my aunt would have done. I know that's what my little brother would have done. They did that when they were here. They turned heads. They made people look. You couldn't help but smile with them and laugh with them. And that's what I want to teach my boys, is this is how you should enter every single room. Demand the presence that is rightfully yours in that space, and demand the respect that we've been owed for a very, very long time. Let your presence liberate others. Continue to show up the best way that you know how. Every single day is not going to be easy. It's not going to be a walk in the park, and I promise you that's not what you want. The beauty and the struggle is that on the other side, the reward is going to be so much greater. I know for individuals like myself and Amanda, every single day we're showing up, and there's times where it gets really hard, and this is what it takes, is a collective of people to continually remind each other when the days do get hard, you have people to call on. So I am extremely humbled and blessed to have been asked to speak in a space like this, but I'm gonna be really honest and transparent, is that Amanda had asked me to speak for this event, this dinner. She had kind of already started planning it, and the next thing you know, she's like, I also need you to serve on my board. So things happen really, really fast, and if you know Amanda really well, it does do that, but I truly believe that
good pick,
with
good
Aqua
choice.
Advocacy, we have something so beautiful and unique. We have 4 individuals that have very much the same goal and objection, like what we're wanting to do, with very unique angles and attack methods. We have Camille, who's very thoughtful and very thorough and very professional. We have Michael, who is on this very important level and fighting and getting legislation pushed and doing what she can in those realms. And we have Amanda, who will squirrel every 2 seconds and want to do this and want to do that and do this here and do this there. And then we have
Say the good part.
Show me where to show up and I'll fight anybody that gets in our way. So it takes a really strong group of people to do things like that, but it also takes a community like you. Things like this would not be possible without the lineup of warriors that we have at every single one of these types of events. And I strongly encourage you to continue to show up, even when the fight gets hard. Understand that you have people next to you that will help you lift your head back up and keep going. And that's what we need from each and every single one of you in this fight, to make sure that we continue to bring our loved ones home, to hold each other accountable, to make the big changes on that legislative level that we need, but also to remember and remind ourselves of who we are as Indian people. Can we continue to do that, please? Yes. Yes. So before I end my time with you guys, because honestly I could keep going on and on and on and on forever if you guys let me. But obviously said. He's like, silent. And so that was an objection that he had. But then we have the raffle, we have some other art pieces, but I would like if my Hama, where did he go? Oh, okay, there he is. So if I could have Amanda please come up. Something that I very strongly encourage, if you haven't already, if you're a woman and you want to hunt, do it, okay? Learn to hunt, learn your cultural ways. Something that I hold really close to my heart is that I am able to hunt and provide for my people, but something that I tie to this is being able to protect my sisters and to help take care of them. I know Amanda has many people around her, but I don't ever want her to feel like in this space that she's ever alone, and if she's ever needing someone to have her back at 2 o'clock in the morning, or ride or die, like I'm there for it. I might be 4 hours away, but whatever I can, I got people in all spaces, so I can kind of do that. But I really just want to express all of my gratitude and my love to Amanda. Seriously, like it's become kind of this relationship, kind of like sisters, where we're like really like on like this really good pace and doing really good things. And then 2 seconds later, I'm like, you have to stop. Like seriously, focus. Look at me. We're gonna do this, and it's a sisterhood. And a lot of people like, get yourself a cold. Get yourself a cold, and I'm like, focus for 2 seconds, Amanda. We're gonna do this. We're gonna get through it. But really, I always wanted siblings. I am one of 13, but I am also adopted. I've got siblings, but I never had the privilege of being really close to any of my siblings. So as an adult, meeting like-minded individuals and getting close enough to them, I've usually kept a lot of girls kind of at bay. You know, we kind of all do that. But Amanda seems to be pretty all right. So I really let her in, but I really did want to, I wanted to acknowledge her and gift her just from my heart. And this is something really close to our people and what we do. So I'll have my Hama come out, and I'd really love to give this to Amanda tonight. For those of you that don't know, this is from an elk. So what is that? 6, but yes, I'd like to give this to her. Thank you for everything that you do in this space and all the work, including me. Okay, now put it on your back and carry it out. All right, y'all, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you for letting me blab for a little bit of time, and I really hope that you're able to catch at least just a little bit of something, and I truly appreciate just the time and space that you've given us and to each other and for this work. So I'll hand you guys back over to Anthony because he's better.
Oh, come on. I know you guys can get louder than that. Let's get it up for man. When I said she can rock a platform, that's what I meant. She can rock a platform. So we got this will be the last call for the raffle and the silent auction. If you want to get your last bids in, if you want to get your last tickets, I would advise you to do so now because we'll be closing up shop on those. We'll be announcing the winners on those items. And you guys have fun out there? You guys nice and awake? Yeah, let's hear you. All right, this side's awake. How about this side? Let's hear it. There it is. Heck yeah. We're indigenous. We're alive. We're here today. Some of us may not be here tomorrow, but right in this moment, we can rock it together. So, look to your left, look to your right, tell them, dang, you look so nice tonight. I love being here with you. Wave to somebody you may not know, or wave to somebody you do know. Tell them, oh yeah, we'll see you at the next one. Once again, my name is Anthony Quinnell. My superpowers are being there for my people, being a talking point for, like my sister Amanda, who, thank God. For me, I love to talk. She's not so much a talker. And my other superpower is being able to listen to my wife, give me specific directions, and me still say, huh? It's one of my great superpowers. So, at this time, you want to get on up, get on over there to the raffle table and the silent auction. Go ahead and get up there. Also, see Marion and Eric, any contributions. They're kind of new to the area, been here in the last couple of years, but they want to get more involved with the community. So I told them in August for Contest Powwow, we're gonna officially adopt them. We're gonna give them Indian names. We're gonna, razz them a little bit. You know how we do in our Indian culture. All right, so as we are getting down to the last little bit of our raffle and our silent auction, we're gonna bring my sister Amanda on back up here, and she's gonna do the closing for us. So put your hands together, put those fry breads down, put those hands together. Make some noise for our sister Amanda.
Tonight has been pretty heavy. There's been a lot of emotions, a lot of smiles, a lot of laughs, and I've met a lot of you tonight for the first time, and it's been an honor. Talking about MMIP is never easy. Sitting with this pain, hearing these stories, holding the weight of it all, it's exhausting, but it's necessary, because pretending the crisis doesn't exist is what allows it to continue. I want to thank every one of you for being here tonight, for showing up, for listening, for refusing to look away. This fight is not easy, and we can't do it alone. So to our speakers, thank you for sharing your voices and your truth. Your words matter. Thank you, Cola, that was amazing. To our, love you guys. I feel like a rapper. Squirrel, my bad. You can't do that to me, it's a distraction, and then I focus over there. Okay, sorry. To our volunteers, thank you all for your time, your energy, your dedication. You made this possible. To our donors, thank you for believing in this work and helping us to continue it. And to every person who sat in this room tonight, Hayumasi, thank you. But this cannot end here. The crisis of missing and murdered Indigenous people does not disappear when this event is over. It's happening right now at this very moment. Someone's daughter is still missing. Someone's son is still missing. Someone's mother is missing. A family is still waiting for answers. So when you leave here tonight, I ask that you carry this with you. Keep talking about MMIP. Keep sharing the names and faces of our missing. Keep demanding justice. Keep standing with us. If there's one thing I want you to take from tonight, it's this. Our voices matter, our people matter, and we are not giving up. Hi, Masi.